Well, our Secretary of Commerce caught in a lie. I want to be clear from the beginning. This is not about Howard Lutnick only. This isn't even about one lunch. This is about a pattern that we've seen for years, that we're starting to see wholeheartedly when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein and powerful people. Same words, same distancing, same I barely knew the man, same denials. Different names. Howard Lutnick is not unique. He's familiar. And that's the problem. Let's walk through it.
I think you understand the root of concern here. It's the way you described very emphatically your first encounter with him in his apartment. You were disgusted, would never have any contact with him again. Did you, in fact, make the visit to Jeffrey Epstein's private island?
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies. I had another couple they were there as well with their children, and we had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children, with my nannies and my wife, all together. We were on family vacation. We were not apart. To suggest there was anything untoward about that in 2012, I don't recall why we did it, but
Mr. Secretary, again, as I said, there's Lutnick.
See, listen to what he actually said. He didn't say I was tricked. He didn't say I didn't know where I was. He said we had lunch on the island with my family for an hour, years after Epstein's conviction of being a pedophile. Years after his conviction. That's not accidental contact. That's chosen proximity. And here's where the pattern starts to matter. Okay. See, this is the same thing we have heard over and over and over again from politicians, billionaires, media figures, royalty. They all say some version of, I was never really close to him. I didn't know who he was or what he was. I cut ties, but the record keeps saying otherwise. Not crimes, connections. And power protects connections. Power protects power.
Donald Trump for 30 years. You know everybody. Elon Musk, Charlie Kirk, Jeffrey Epstein was your neighbor. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about him. East 71st Street. He was your neighbor for 10 years. How well did you know him?
All right. So we are in number 11 and he lives in number 9.
Right.
So we renovate, we buy our house, and our house is pigeons and mice.
Right.
Okay. That's it. It was derelict.
Right.
So we rebuild our house. We move in 2005. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein is arrested in like 2008, I think, or something like that.
Right.
So knock on the door. His assistant on like a Saturday says, Mr. Epstein, your neighbor would like to invite you over for coffee. So my wife and I go next door. We walk the 7 steps,
yes,
right, to the next house for coffee. We share a wall.
Right.
So it's in New York City. So he invites us in. We have coffee in this, and he says, do you want a tour? We said, great.
Interesting.
He's got a really big house.
Every room you went into?
He's got, well, I'll tell you. So his house is like super big, really wide. And so he gives me a tour in the living room, big living room. And then across from it is double doors. I assume it's the dining room.
Yeah.
And he opens the doors and there's a massage table in the middle of the room.
Ooh.
And candles all around and stuff. So I ask very insightful, cutting questions. I say to him, massage table in the middle of your house? How often do you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he like gets like weirdly close to me.
Ooh.
And he says, and the right kind of massage.
Ooh.
Now my wife is standing here. So she looks at me and I look at her and we say, I'm sorry, we have to go. And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Now compare the two confessions that he made, one in front of the Congressional Committee a couple days ago, and this 4 months ago. He cut off contact with him in 2005, but drinks he had with him in 2011, island visit in 2012, ongoing communications after he knew he was a pedophile. That contradiction isn't unique to him. It's standard to these rich people. Here's how the Epstein lie machine works. Step 1, you minimize the relationship. Step 2, you blame your memory. Step 3, say nothing illegal happened, even if that wasn't even the question that somebody asked you. Step 4, rely on the fact that powerful people are rarely pressed the way regular folks are. And the wheel keeps turning. Different names, same defense. And us public people are expected to accept it. Yet again, this lying to our face. This isn't about punishing people retroactively, of course. It's about truth. Because Epstein didn't operate in isolation. He operated in elite spaces, rich people spaces, was elite protection too, and elite silence. When every powerful person tells a version of the same damn story, that's not a coincidence. That's coordination. That's cultural, not criminal. Howard Lutnick may not be the engine of this story, okay, but he is a cog in the wheel. And the reason people are angry is not because of one lunch that you had, bro. It's because the same excuses keep coming from the same class of people who everyone else is told to just move on about. The Epstein story is not done. It's just finally being told honestly, and we're not done asking questions about it. So y'all need to buckle up, because there's a lot more people involved that need to tell their story.